Alrighty, so today's piece is by Keyt, Keyt. I believe it's called Seven Fugues for Toy Piano, and it's for a 30 key toy piano, so just a little bit over 2 octaves. If we look at the notation, it looks like it's notated an octave lower than sounding, so it's from C3 to F5 when it probably the instrument itself is sounding C4 to F6. Premiered by Robert Fleitz at the Second International Toy Piano Festival in Tampa, Florida, January 7th, 2017. But it was written 10 years earlier in 2007. You can see each fugue is kind of takes up 1 page, so they're kind of like miniatures. Some of them take up 2 pages though. This one takes up 5 pages. This one 2 pages, and then the last one takes up 3 pages. In total, it's about 13 minutes of music, so they average around like 2 minutes a piece. They're a Pacific Northwest experimental music composer, so Seattle-based. He's written numerous works for piano, organ, and other solo instruments, as well as chamber ensembles. He also does some uh, computer-generated stuff. Many of his recent pieces have been inspired by Alaska, and I guess his music appeals to nature. It reflects the natural world. Studied at the University of Washington School of Music. Was also a trombonist in addition to being a composer there. And then he got his uh, master's, I'm assuming, from Princeton, also in composition. He's a founding member of this ensemble, band rehearsal, which he founded with, I'm assuming, his wife. No, it was formed with Keith Eisenbray and Neil Kosali Meyer, but I believe Jennifer Chung is his wife. I was reading this bio earlier. I'm assuming it's an improvisation ensemble because, yeah, they have these massive 30 plus minute tracks here. Usually gallery performances, it seems. And then as for this pianist, see if I can find anything on them. Robert Fleitz is a pianist composer. He seems to be based in New York, just skimming through this. I guess he was a guest artist at this um, toy piano festival. Can't seem to find exactly which one it is. There's a couple different toy piano festivals. There's one called Uncaged, which the ninth one was in 2017, so that's not the same. There's also this annual one at UC San Diego, but the 25th one was this past year, so again, it's not the same one. Maybe the Florida one? Yeah, this it's probably that one. So as you can see, toy piano is a very upstart thing. It's very inexpensive. So there's multiple festivals in the US that have calls for scores for this type of thing. Um, yeah, that's all I have to say about Seven Fugues. Yeah, I'll have a listen to this, and I'll get back to you in about 15 minutes or so. Link to a recording is in the video description if you want to listen along. Okay, I hope you took the time to listen to this one. It's an interesting experience listening to it with the score. You can see in this image here that the score is printed on half of a letter paper. So it's in landscape, but you're supposed to print it like two to a page and then cut it out because this specific shoe nut toy piano has a little clip for sheet music. So I thought that was really cute. It maybe you would find that inspiring if you want to write for toy piano. Also, the coil binding on the side is very cute. Um, and yeah, as for the score itself, I think these fugues were really interesting. They kind of pushed the boundaries of what a fugue can be right from the start. Like the first one is actually very extreme, and I like that. And it's kind of like the limitations of the toy piano kind of force you to do this kind of thing. Um, the last one is a double fugue. I think it sounds pretty final. And my favorite one was probably the sixth one. I like this idea of using silences. Kind of picks up towards the end, but yeah, I can tell that this composer has a really good sensibility about counterpoint in general. Um, the fifth one was pretty fanciful with these clusters and things. I think he did about all that you could do with this idea, like writing fugues for toy piano, and it definitely feels like a piece that is the product of some skill and labor, and it also got me thinking about how the toy piano does not really sustain the way a piano sustains. There's no damper. So when you lift a note, it just continues to ring. You can hear when the key lifts, but regardless, you just kind of strike the note and it rings. So there's a lot of like very purposeful rests in here that get lost simply because it's not played on a real piano. Which I guess is kind of the fun of looking at the score is like you realize where the lines are and it's not as audible in performance just because of the limitations of the instrument. So I don't know. I thought that was kind of interesting. Also, the compressed range, you have to have a lot of very narrow lines or lines that overlap. Probably our only piece by this composer on the channel. So thank you for the music, Aaron, if you're watching this.